Great to see you. And as Lauren said, for more than 30 years, I have been a transformative coach. That's a long time, right? How many of you are not even 30 years old? A couple of you, yes, exactly. Before you were born. So some of you, yeah, you wish. Okay, yeah, exactly. So some of you might be wondering why they were playing a 90s pop song for my introduction. Not exactly a current track, right? So that was one of my dreams, was to be a singer. And as Lauren was saying earlier, how many of you remember when you stopped singing, or you stopped painting, or you stopped dancing, or you stopped writing, or you stopped just expressing yourself, you know? And that was my dream since I was 2. And I used to sing for anybody who would listen, and even those who wouldn't. Like my stuffed animals were a very captive audience, right? You love the one you're with. And when I was 5 years old, I was in our Chevy Impala convertible with my father, and he had been a painter, but he stopped painting, and I noticed it. And I said to him, "Dad, why'd you stop painting?" And he said, "Well, you can't do your art as your career." And in that moment, I said to myself, you can't do your art as your career. So it wasn't that he said it. People say things all the time. It's that I said it to myself. And that was the moment that I gave up on that dream. And I said, okay, well, you can't do your art as your career. So I guess I'll be a lawyer or a business person or something, right? So the dream went under the rug. How many of you have a dream that went under the rug? How many of you? Raise your hand high. And those of you online, if you have a dream that went under the rug, put a 1 in the chat. Just 111 me, all right? Exactly, right, Joanne and Amanda? Yeah, we all do. And I've, worked with over 200,000 people over the last 30 years in what I'm going to introduce you today, which is the art of being unmessable with. That'd be interesting, right? Hey, what if you could be unmessable with no matter what life throws at you? Yeah, exactly. Woo! It's easy to be unmessable with when things are going well. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real life. Because life throws stuff at you, doesn't it? It does. And how do you be able to fulfill your vision, your dream, when life is throwing stuff at you? That's what I mean. So, flash forward from when I was 5. I was sitting in a transformative workshop myself when I was in my early 20s. This is back in 1900. And I had this breakthrough, this insight. And this is what I'm committed to for each of you today. Each of you online at home, so Cornelia and Lorraine and Emily, everybody who's watching, whether you're online or here in the studio, that you have a moment that alters the future of your life today. You'll probably have several moments given who's on the lineup today, right? So you're in the right place. But I had this moment where I realized that you can't do your art as your career isn't the truth. It was a decision I made in the infinite wisdom of 5 that altered my future forever, but not in a good way. In a way that shut down what was possible, not opened up what was possible. So in that moment, the reality of you can't do your art as your career got loose. It got malleable. It was no longer solid. And in that moment, I was like, maybe you can. And then I started looking for evidence, like people that did their art as their career, of which there are many. And within 3 weeks, I had a record deal. Within 3 weeks, and that song went #1, which was the song they were playing when I came out. It's called That's What Love Can Do by Boy Crazy. And we knocked Whitney Houston off the top of the charts with I Will Always Love You, which was, Dolly Parton. I'm just giving a shout out for Lauren to Dolly Parton. It was like 2,000 weeks it was #1, and we were the next #1. So that was a dream come true, right? And that's when I got committed to my mission, which was to empower you, to empower people to live the life of their dreams, not chase them. To actually be somebody who is unmessable with, no matter what life throws at you, no matter what somebody says to you, no matter what circumstances you're dealing with, because we all have circumstances, right? So when I say being unmessable with, I don't mean being tough. That's what a lot of people hear. They hear, oh, well, then people can't mess with you. You're just impervious to your emotions or something. That's not what I mean. What I mean by being unmessable with is to be somebody who can shift from reaction mode to creation mode. We spend most of our lives in reaction mode. Just look for yourself. Many of you are really good reactors, aren't you? Life throws stuff at you and you're dealing with it and you handle it and you put out the fire. The most effective people are great at reacting, but that's a very different muscle than creation. Creation has a space to it. Dream, vision, open, up and out. Reaction is like managing, getting through, surviving. So I want to teach you how to move from reaction to creation. Is that interesting to you? Would that be useful to you, those of you at home? Yes? Okay, good. Let's do it. Game on, as I say. Okay. So the first thing is you got to have a vision. So I want to find out, what is your dream? What is your vision? And I'm going to call on some people here in the studio, and at home, you want to just put it in the chat. What's your dream? Dawn, what's your dream, Evis or Lainey? What is your dream? What is your vision for your life? What do you really, really, really want that you haven't accomplished yet? So as I call on people here, just say it real quick, a couple of words so I can repeat it so people can hear it, okay? So who's got something? What's your dream? Yes, what's your dream? A serial entrepreneur and empower women. Great. Yes, what's your dream? Loving family and a successful business. Killer. What else you got? Yes. Educate, inspire, and empower young adults so they can be their best self. Okay, so everybody, look for yourself. What's your dream? What's your vision? What do you really want? It could be a purpose. And take a note in your workbook, absolutely, to see what your dream is. And those of you in the chat, let's see, your dream is to empower parents to make a better relationship with their children. Beautiful. And my dream is to volunteer and serve others and get paid for doing it, though that takes the volunteer thing out of it, but I love it. Okay, good. Empower children, set up an event like this in the UK. Come on, let's do it, right? So you all have dreams. And for some of you, if you can't access your vision or your dream, how many of you that's the case? You can't even see something. You're so busy. Exactly. That happens to a lot of people. Why? Because you're so embedded in reaction mode. You're so busy dealing with life that you can't even look up and out and see anything. So that's a whole other conversation, but hang in this conversation and I'll give you tools to get yourself to that space of creation. So you start off with what your dream is. Now, what's going to mess with you? This is the question. So for you, Carissa and Paige, you want to put in the chat, what is going to mess with you from taking the actions that are required to fulfill on that dream? So let me hear from you. And again, you know the drill, and I'll repeat what you say. What messes with you? Because you all have something that messes with you. Who's got something? Yes. Imposter syndrome. How many of you imposter syndrome? That is so popular, right? In a not a good way, but yes, exactly. Who else? What messes with you? Yes. Overthinking, another big one. How many of you overthinking? Some of you are slow to the draw because you're thinking about it. Exactly. Okay. Who else? What messes with you? Yes. Emotions, anxious, frustrated. Yeah, very good. What messes with you? Overthinking. We got mindset, negative thoughts, and self-doubt. How many of you self-doubt messes with you? It's huge. I mean, again, I've worked with so many people over the last 30 years, and it's so common. It's almost like being a human being comes with that. You know, like your car comes with leather seats, if it does, and being a human being comes with self-doubt. Yeah, so that's going to mess with you. Fine. The next step in my Unmessable With system is to identify the physical sensation. I call this the red flag that you are being messable with. So when you say overthinking or imposter syndrome, what happens in your body? What's the actual physical sign that you are about to go down that road of being messable with, that road of overthinking, that road of self-doubt, that road of negative self-talk? What happens in your body? Let me hear from some of you. Stomach ache, Very good. How many of you have it in your stomach? It happens in that area. Okay, good. Who else? What do you got? Brain fog. But what is that physically? How can you tell that's happening physically? And I'm asking you to look for the physical sensation for a reason, because what happens from a brain perspective, overthinking is conceptual, but there's something that happens that precedes what you're calling overthinking. So a racing heart, that, when that starts happening, that's your sign, oh, I'm about to overthink. Or nausea. Oh, here I go, self-doubt land, here I come, one-way ticket. So what are some of the red flags for you guys? Get tired, so your body feels tired, very good. Headache, mine's the chest. I get a tight chest. It's like, I can't breathe, how many of you have a tight chest thing? Yeah, this seems to be a popular one, right? So here's what you want to do. You want to identify what your red flag is, right? Doreen and Carla, you want to see what is it that happens physically for me. My heart beats faster, contractions in my chest, because that you'll be able to identify and catch. So my intention is that you're able to catch it quick enough so that you don't go down the road of being messable. You reroute your brain. So the next step is to come up with a hack. We love hacks, right? So you want to hack something, you got to get into it physically, because what is happening for you in those moments of being messable with is physical. Your brain is on an amygdala hijack. You are in survival mode. Exactly. The hook comes out. Exactly. You are in fight, flight, or flee. You're right there in that moment, surviving, reacting. You're on automatic. You're not even home. So you have to come up with something that's physical to intervene in that brain pattern. So I want you to look for yourself. It's got to be something that you do when you catch the tight chest, when you catch the nausea. So when you see that, you don't wait for oh, I'm overthinking. Oh, what are my self-doubt? No. You go, stomach ache. Now I'm going to do this thing. So what's something you could do? It's got to be quick, though. It can't be like a whole long thing, because sometimes you're on a Zoom call when you get messable with, right? So you can't go run around the block. You got to have something that's like a Cliff Note version. What do you got? Breathe, okay? Yeah, but you're pretty much breathing all the time. So deep breaths, very good. So breathe in maybe to the count of 3, breathe out to the count of 4. That's a hack. That will reset you. What's another possible physical hack? Yeah, what do you have? Stand up, stop the patter in your head. So you stand up. That's good, because you're physically changing places. I like that. Yes, right back there. Grounding. So what would you be doing? Holding something. That's very good. Hold something physical. Your coffee cup. For me, it's always a coffee cup. Your pen, your crystal, whatever it is for you. But for me, it's always a coffee cup. What do you have at home? You go tapping. Yeah, tapping. And you could do that on Zoom, because you could be like tapping your legs underneath the table and they don't even know it, because you're not wearing pants anyway, most of you, right? On your Zoom calls. Oh, it's just me, I'm sure. Okay, whatever. Focus on your wedding ring. Very good. Go outside and feel the sunshine. That's great if you have the time to do that. But sometimes you can't leave where you are, because you're in the middle of a conversation with your employee or your boss or your children or your spouse, whatever, right? So you got to have something like that. You can go out and feel the sunshine if you have the time. If not, have something abbreviated, like the breathe thing or the tapping. I have one person who just literally snaps her fingers. She just goes, and it snaps her out of it, like that movie. What was that movie? Moonstruck, right? Snap out of it. So you're snapping yourself out of it. And now that's good, because you get to neutral. But neutral isn't enough. Neutral's okay, right, Joyce? It's good to get to neutral. But because the muscle memory for being messable with is so strong, I mean, most of you have decades of being messable with in whatever circumstances. Because that's so strong, if you come out of that world of reaction and you get to neutral, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You're going to get sucked back in like a vacuum into the world of reaction. That's normal. And most people, they stop at getting to neutral. Like, I'll just meditate. I'll get my mind empty. I'll get to nothing. Okay, good. Now what? Nothing does not persist. So the most important part of this is once you get to nothing, you got to create something. And I recommend you pre-create something. Why? Because when you're in the heat of the moment, good luck creating something. You're there having an argument with your husband, and then you're like, okay, I'm just going to tap on myself. I'll tap myself and I'll get to nothing. And what do you think is going to happen the next moment? I have to create something. I'll create something. That's when being messable with version of unmessable with is don't mess with me. Don't mess with me is not a creation. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's a different space. So this is about shifting to the space of creation. So if you pre-create a space that you're committed to, you will have a way better shot at being able to develop this muscle of being unmessable with. Okay, Dawn? So you want to pre-create something. It's a spatial thing. What do you want? What is your vision for that relationship? Or what is your vision for that situation? So what could be a possible space you could pre-create right now for a particular situation you're thinking of when you get messable with? What could you create? And I'll work with you. It's okay. I do this for a living. Everything's not something. Everything is like, you could be warts on your eyeballs. You don't want everything, right? So what is something that you're creating? Yes, back there. Smile is an action, which you'll get to in a minute. But what is it that you really want? Is it happiness? Is it joy? I understand change the direction of the conversation is going, but that comes after. First, you want to create the space you want to come from. So it could be joy, love, kindness could be a space. Very good. So you want to keep it spatial. We're going to get to you're a little ahead of us. We're going to get to the actions in a moment. So it could be kindness. It could be self-expression. It could be joy. It could be connection. Could be contribution, which is the word I'm left with out of being at this event for the last day and a half, is contribution, right? So it could be anything you create, but the point is create something. Okay, Marty and Liza, you got to create something, because if you don't create something, you'll be sucked back into that world of reaction. So let's say I have a client who pre-created love as her space, and her husband had a traumatic brain injury, and he would say things, like would blurt things out that for her were nasty things after this injury, and she would get hurt. That's how she got messable with. So she created a hack. Her thing was tight chest. She created a hack of breathing, yours. And then she created love as the space. So that's what she really wants with her husband. So then she came up with 3 actions, recreate the actions that would manifest love or presence love or make love be the thing that is present and real in the relationship rather than the irritation or the hurt. She came up with making a cup of tea for him or going over and giving him a hug. So those were a couple of the actions. So for you, you want to pre-create the actions. Why? Because actions produce results. Thinking does not produce results. Thinking produces thoughts. Action produces results. Now, non-action also produces results. Like if you don't call your mother for a month, there will be a result out of that inaction. But actions are the thing that's going to produce the results that you really want, your dream, your vision. So pre-create at least 3 actions. I'd come up with 5, just in case. So that way, in that moment, you can take an action that will now presence what you really want. And that way, you're not only creating what you want when you pre-create the space, you're coming from love in this case, you're standing in love, and you're on your way to love. That's called living your dream now, not someday. Someday is not a real day. It's not even in your calendar, and you know it. It's never happened. It's never come. You are always right now. So the question is, how do you live your dream now, not someday? And that's how you do it. So let me go over the steps so you have them all in like sequential order. And you'll get this in the email that is going to go out to you with a slide deck with steps and the whole thing. And you have in your workbook some of these steps. But the first step is get clear on your vision. Then get clear about what messes with you. What is going to mess with you, stop you, thwart you from fulfilling on that vision? Then look for the red flag. What's the physical symptom of being messable with? Create a physical hack pre-create a space, pre-create the actions, and then you'll be practicing what I call the art of being unmessable with. And if you want to get some practice pre-creation, because that's a weak muscle for people, I have a gift for you. And if you go to gift from Joss, Joss, you will be able to get a 5-day practice game called the Promise Game, where you can pre-create the space and pre-create the actions and start to actually live the life of your dreams now and be unmessable with. All right, that's all I got. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Come on, don't walk off. Give her some love. Get the love. Take it. Give her some love. Give her some hearts. Awesome. Those are plans.
Yeah.
Because you were supposed to be in Europe, right?
I was in Paris, and I that's another dream I made come true, to live in Paris. I wanted that for 40 years. And last year, I ripped the Band-Aid off and moved part-time to Paris. I flew here from Paris.
Yes.
And then I'll go back to New York, so.
Yeah. So she flew here to be with us. And if you, those of you that are at home, there's a dashboard there. And in the dashboard are all of the speakers and their bios and the information about them. So thank you for adding so much value. And
thank you for having me. And
awesome.
thank you for doing this and for making such a difference for so many people, both locally and globally. That's called a global impact.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Give it up for Josselyne.